Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Movie Social. We're your hosts, Rickey and Stef.
What up, what up, what up?
Today on Movie Social, we're going to be doing a review of the Netflix movie Pieces of a Woman. And as the title suggests, it was spot on in a way. But before we get into this review here for this Netflix movie, if you like what we're doing on the channel and you would like to support us, just go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share the channel with your family and friends. It'll be a big help to us as we continue to do these reviews for movies, video games, TV shows, and anime. And so, Steph, how did this movie make you feel?
Made me feel sad. Because, granted, we talk about our lives here. I'm not a parent. And I know that if something like that was to happen to me and my wife, proceeding to have a child or whatever, and we get it so close, she actually bursts our child. And then for us to hear our child cry, and then we hold our child for 30 seconds, and then our child passes away, I would be destroyed. I would probably be worse off than them, to be honest with you. To be completely honest with you. So it was just sad. The loss of a child, you can't even call it necessarily a miscarriage, because the baby was here in this world with us. Yeah. And to think about what they would go through, it was just a sad movie all in all, man. And I cannot fathom what people who this stuff actually happens to. Oh, yeah. I cannot fathom what they actually go through. This movie did its best to try to depict that, but I can only think that the movie could honestly do so much, to be honest with you. Because it's something that's so raw, so emotional, that it can literally turn a great marriage and a great partnership into something like we seen here in the movie. Yeah, and I said,
to be honest, though, their marriage was kind of probably,
but
their relationship was a little rocky anyway.
But it
exposed everything.
Yeah, it exposed everything, and then it actually ended it essentially. I can only imagine that stuff like this. I know for sure stuff probably like this happens in real life, and the movie did its best to depict that. And it was super sad, man. Super sad.
Definitely. For me, it definitely was very emotional. Me having kids, knowing this type of stuff definitely can happen, does happen, and honestly, my personal opinion, I would have definitely been in the hospital.
Oh, for facts.
No, for facts. Granted, I know there's definitely benefits to home births versus hospitals. Cause sometimes you don't have to deal with those medicines and all that stuff and things like that. It's more natural. Mm-hmm. But there's still also a bigger chance of if something's going wrong, you might not make it to the hospital.
Exactly.
Now, granted, in this one, even at the end when she said that she didn't think that it was her midwife's fault, I still kind of put some blame on the midwife. Because when she first started seeing the irregularities, we'd have called the ambulance then. Right then and there, the ambulance probably would have got there right before the baby started going blue. And could have possibly saved the baby. Because, if it was in the hospital and you had those complications, the doctors in the hospital have some more equipment and stuff. They can examine and view things a lot better, in my opinion, at that point. But you at home with the midwife, and the midwife sees that the first time. Now, granted, yes, it could be something that can occur normally happening, and it goes back to the normal heart rhythm and all. But the fact of being at home with that, nope. Not taking no chances.
I agree with you. I definitely agree with you.
Right then and there. Now, also Shia LaBeouf's character too, the husband. I would have been. I don't care what my wife says or girlfriend says. We have a life to think about. You don't want to go to the hospital. Oh well, we going. Mm-hmm. We're going right to the hospital, right then and there. But he darted out there for that ambulance. Even opened up the door, like, yo, come on. That was sad though.
Very sad.
Seeing the baby completely turn blue. I want to know what did they use? Did they do some CGI or adjust the coloring at the end, or they have some kind of dial that they did that with, because that really did start changing right to blue, and you could hear soon. Like, as soon as she started looking in the mirror, you could start hearing the difference in the baby's breathing and talking. Well, not talking, but voice-wise.
Sounds.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, ouch.
I agree, man.
It just went downhill from there.
I
And to me, I think the one thing that made all this even worse was her mother.
Yes. Oh, man.
Who pays to send away who once was the father of your daughter's child and was in a serious relationship with your daughter, paying for him to leave? Honestly, yes, they needed to break up. I mean, especially at the point when he started sleeping with the cousin, aka also the lawyer. I'm like, yo, really? Really? Of all people?
Yeah.
Even though, granted, yeah, she wasn't trying to have sex with him for the most part.
That made me feel uncomfortable.
Oh, the situation, yeah, because it started getting to borderline him trying to take it.
Yeah, if it made me feel so uncomfortable. I was sitting there like, I mean, we all like Shia LaBeouf, but he played his role. Mm-hmm. It just made me feel uncomfortable.
But at the same time too, for Mel, yeah, you after a certain point, you also not going to want to just be in a relationship. Yes, you had something happen. He trying to be sympathetic. You're not trying to show any kind of help or support to him as well, because he's also going through it as well. No communication, no nothing. Mm-hmm. And at the very least, if you're not going to give some emotional support, can we get some physical support? Because I'm saying at a certain time, a lot of men by nature were more physical.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It was just the way you said it. That's all.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But like, it took a while. I mean, they said 6 months had passed.
Yeah.
And what happened? They haven't had sex. None of that. She's not communicating really with them. She's just going off into the room. Like, at 6 months of that, you don't want to get help. You don't want to either do a lawsuit against them. You don't want to, none of that. Like, you got to do something to keep you two together. If you're not trying, then that's the results. That's this movie.
I want to have a quick conversation with you, just very quickly about this. There was a scene that I wasn't unsure of, where they were like, she came in, and I think the night after that night of her partying or whatever. Yeah. Did he really throw that medicine ball at her,
yes,
or was it in his mind?
No, he threw it at her. I was like,
okay, because I was confused because
it bent the cigarette.
Huh?
It bent her cigarette, and then she put it out.
Okay, but see, the thing is, I thought it was in her mind. Maybe he rolled it to her. Like, you know how you play something out in your mind. He threw it at her. Because when I joined, I was like, yo, what's going on?
And see, that part got me because you just was sleeping with her cousin.
Yeah, exactly. And
I'm like, she didn't actually cheat on you. She stopped herself, which shows she kind of wanted to have a relationship. But you didn't because of her lack of physicalness too. Which is, that's understandable because given everything that went on.
Then he relapsed.
Yeah. He started getting everything.
Yeah.
The best thing probably was him going to Seattle. I just felt bad at the end when they actually finished the bridge. And he was saying the daughter would have been the first one across the bridge. And they finally finished the bridge, and she just sits on the bridge and puts on the hat that he tossed back into the cart before he got on the plane.
Now I do have one more question. Mm-hmm. The very, very ending. I was confused.
Confused about what?
Did she have a baby? Was this in her mind?
No, she actually had a kid later on. Okay. I wish they would have showed who the father was.
That's what I'm saying. They got back together,
or she got with another guy. But I'm guessing she eventually had a successful birth. They were just showing that she had a successful birth, and maybe with another man, or maybe she did go to Seattle. Who knows?
Yeah, it confused. It didn't give you any details. It just you see this little girl climbing up an apple tree,
and it don't look like they were in the city either. So she could have went to Seattle and went back to him. Maybe the hat, putting on his hat, was symbolic of her wanting to be back with him.
Possibly. I agree. I wish it would have gave us some more information and details regarding that.
Who knows? But all in all, it was definitely sad and very emotional movie.
Yes.
Now, is it worth the viewer's time?
I would say it. I would say it's worth your time. Like I said, just get yourself emotionally ready for this because again, it was very deep. It was very deep.
Get your tissues. Get your tissues. Get your puffs, lotion, tissues. Get them ready. So sad and emotional. I mean, it's a good movie. I mean, it's good for a lot of people, especially those that might be thinking about having home births or births in general, or people that have gone through it. Never know. I mean, it could help and benefit a lot of people. And there's nothing wrong with having more movies or information out there that depicts life and nature of things like these type of events.
Mm-hmm.
So check it out. Let us know in the comments below for those that watch this, your thoughts and feelings on this movie and the events that occurred in the movie. And until next time.